Yeah, they had us the first half. I'm not going to lie.
Oh, could be Wayne!
I think I got my swagger back. Oh!
I love it, baby!
Them orange britches. Something about them orange britches.
Tennessee wins! Out of by Tennessee, Jawan Jennings. Jennings makes the catch. Ball hit high in the air into right field. Going back to Sayre. And Tennessee can say hello, win column. A grand slam in the bottom of the ninth. You can't draw it up any better.
We just won a basketball game, and we're very happy right now. I made up my mind. I don't expect to ever look back. I'm going to stay at the University of Tennessee.
Reddit did to do, and welcome into More Important Issues. It is Friday, April 1st. I know we're coming at you guys at a different day than normal, but shout out to the Vols that we get to. We're into way. I've got my new orange jersey on. Shout out Alumni Hall for coming through in the clutch.
It looks good on you.
Thanks, man. I'm liking it. I haven't put on the cream yet, but we'll get there one at a time. I did purchase both. It is an exciting. This is a Vol baseball show. We have two now, so Vol baseball show.
Yeah, I love it. We both got jerseys on. I went gray because we're going gray tonight.
Gotta say, yeah, I went with the gray. Respectable.
Yeah,
Respectable.
yeah, got to. And villains, we're on the road, so we got to be the villains this series. So, just screw Vandy. I hate them. I hate everything about them. They're ugly. They're low down. There's some snitches. So screw Vandy.
I hope we get a Corbin protesting a bat this weekend, because that means a long home run was hit. So I really hope for that, and would make for a good story.
Well, if it's anything like the Western Carolina game, it's going to be on the first pitch of the game.
I wouldn't mind that.
Christian Moore takes one 443 feet.
I wouldn't be upset. What was funny too is he hit that one, and then 10 minutes later you couldn't get a ball to the fence. The wind was so heavy.
Oh no! Like Drew Gilbert smoked one, and it barely got out. Yeah.
Later in the game, just came off the bat so hard and just floated in like the middle of the outfield.
Yeah. It was pretty intense. There was like so much debris in the stands, like the little hot dog carrier things, like they're just blowing in people's faces. Yeah. It was a lot. But great crowd for that midweek game. I think it was the highest attended midweek game in program history. So shout out. It was packed. I mean, it looked like toward the end of last year during like the regionals, like it was that packed. There was that many people standing around. I don't know how they had tickets, but I guess they're just selling standing room only tickets just to get as many people in there as they can, because it was lined up. Like I walked in, I was like, holy crap, are this many people in line for beer? But no, there was another line for beer, but that line, there were just people standing there.
Yeah, they do. If you want to get into the game, I think they're still doing it this year. They must be. They do standing room tickets 90 minutes before the first pitch, just like the first however many they're selling. And the line comes up at 90 minutes.
I didn't know how much, like how many do they sell, or does it differ?
I'm not sure
for each game. I don't know. There was a lot last night standing around, or the other night.
I'm not sure, but this team absolutely deserves these crowds. I'm glad to see them come out. Connor Pavoloni, I don't know if you listened to 11.7. He talked about the fan base on that podcast. They released it today. He was like, I mean, yeah, they're a normal fan base when you lose. You get that kind of stuff. But he's like, you won't find a better one when you're winning. Like, that's Vol Nation. And it's true. I mean, 4,500 for a midweek game. Tennessee wasn't turning that out for weekend SEC games before Tony Vitello got here and his first year and second year too. So this is awesome. And I know I know tickets are expensive, but one of the reasons there's going to be a lot of orange in Nashville tonight, this weekend.
Yeah, they definitely didn't want to get that out to Tennessee fans. They wanted to keep it in house, and that's why you're seeing the prices up so much. I mean, $400. I was there. There was a video 3 years ago of Evan Russell, and we were ranked number 21, and we were playing Fresno State, and you could get into the game for 2 canned foods.
Love it.
Yeah, and now like you can't even get into it for under $50. It's insane.
Yeah.
And this game, it's like what, 400 online?
Well, I thought the last I saw it was like 215, 220, something like that. So unless it's gone up, that was probably
Maybe it's
Wednesday. So unless it's gone up.
Yeah. Maybe the average is like 400. Maybe that's what it is.
Maybe. Yeah. No clue.
Yeah, a lot of money. I mean, it's basically a mortgage payment that you're going to miss out on to go to this game. So
love it. That's Vol Nation. That's we used to take over Dudley. I don't know the name of their stadium now. We're going to take that over too. And it's okay, so going into Vandy, I don't think Tennessee sweeps. I just think there's too much at stake. But I have a hard time believing Tennessee loses this series.
Yeah, I mean, it's just mind-blowing to me because not only that Tennessee's ranked number 1, but you're heading to Nashville favored in a series. You haven't won a series there since 2009 when you swept them. You haven't won a series against Vanderbilt in its entirety since 2016. So it's just mind-blowing to me that Tennessee is this, like, the program has come this far.
Right. Yeah.
Again, going back to the canned food, you could get in for canned food and school supplies, and now like it's hard to find tickets nowadays.
Yeah, and then
all in for Vol baseball.
Obviously, $58 million expansion coming soon.
Yeah, shout out.
I hope that means we get a lemonade stand in right field.
Build that thing.
I'm pumped. I'm pumped for the future of Tennessee baseball. And then just this weekend, there's going to be. I mean, there's a lot on the line because it's a rivalry. This is Tennessee. I mean, this is one of the teams you got to beat. Ole Miss was one of them, so you've gotten part of it out of the way. Not only was Ole Miss one of them, Ole Miss was ranked number 1 in the country when you did it. One of those teams that you got to show you can go and play series with. You swept Ole Miss, and then you've got a lot of work ahead of you, but you also. The bats are every bit of hot right now. And the 3 guys you're pitching this weekend, it's hard not to really like Tennessee, even against a team like Vanderbilt.
Yeah, I mean, straight up, Tennessee's a better baseball team than Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt's got a ton of talent. I don't want to take anything away from them as an opponent, but when you look at the lineup, you look pitching wise, Tennessee has the upper hand in both of those. And I wasn't alive the last time that probably occurred, where Tennessee is hands down the better team in the series.
And that's what's crazy too. Well, I think that's what's crazy when I'm like, I don't know if the Vols sweep them, just because Vanderbilt is good. They're a good baseball team. Going in and winning a series is hard enough, let alone sweeping them. But the fact that it's very much in play is absolutely insane. We just had a question about Chase Burns. Chase Burns did it at Ole Miss. He did it against Texas and Round Rock. I mean, he's not a first-time freshman rolling into the SEC, and even if he was, Chase Burns isn't your average freshman. But he's not your first time rolling in to Nashville to play. So I like Chase Burns tonight. And then, Dolander and Beam after that. They've played great. They've pitched really, really well. And I think makes it that much harder for Vanderbilt to get a leg up. And you're missing two preseason starters still, by the way. When you match Tennessee and Vanderbilt up in the series.
Yeah, it's pretty insane. I was looking at, I can't remember what their stadium's called.
I can't remember either. I don't really care, for just being honest.
Yeah, that's fair. But I was going to say, like, Swayze Field is a lot more hostile environment than Vanderbilt Stadium. I mean, that place holds 11,000. I think Vanderbilt holds, what?
It's not a very big stadium.
Hawkins Field is their stadium. That's right. Capacity's 3,800. So I think Chase Burns, like you said, will be just fine playing. Like you said, played in Houston, played at Swayze, It didn't seem to bother him. I don't really see it bothering him tonight.
And those batters struggled against.
Go ahead.
I was going to say those batters struggled against South Carolina, and they don't have that. They don't have an impressive pitching staff this season, and they've got a bunch of guys down.
Yeah, not at all. I mean, again, Vanderbilt's a really good baseball team, but they don't have the overpowering stuff like they did last season with Rocker and Leiter. I mean,
and
they got some good arms. Yeah. What's their? I done forgot the starter's name. But kind of their ace. He's kind of having a breakout year this. I know it sounds like McElwain. It's Miguel Vane. Is their Friday night guy, and he's been solid. I think his ERA is just under 2. So really good arm for Vanderbilt. Don't really know who their Sunday guy is going to be. Their Saturday guy is a true freshman in Carter Holton, and his ERA is 4.02. He's been great in games that, against inferior opponents, but when they played South Carolina, they played Oklahoma State, he got shelled. So, this is the best lineup they're going to face so far in Tennessee. So, I'm expecting big things from Tennessee, a lot of runs in this series. I like the lineup that we're going with tonight. I like Christian Moore. I know we haven't really talked about the Western Carolina game already, but, the way he started that game, hit a triple in it. I think he's earned his playing time and earned the right to be an everyday starter. Yeah. Even if it's at DH. I will say this, Drell Ortega's kind of struggled a little bit in SEC play and, kind of struggled a little bit in Houston. So against those big-time programs, he's struggled at the plate, and he also leads the team in errors. I mean, if Christian Moore, he's hitting a lot better, and if he can, hold his own in the field, I think you can maybe see Christian Moore maybe take somebody's spot in the infield right there.
Yeah, he's done it to the point it's hard to keep him out of the lineup. You mentioned the DH spot. You got to find a way to get him in the lineup, whether that be at a position or DH. He needs to be hitting. Like you said, earn that spot. He's done enough.
Yep. Yeah, I think Blake Berger's right there too. You're going to see
that is an issue. you have a lot of guys that have earned it.
Yeah, and then when you got good news on Jared Dickey that he should be back. Probably not this weekend. I think he's available, but you probably won't see him. Just has a bone bruise on that foot where he ran into the wall. So hopefully he's back soon. And then you got more of a problem because the DH and left field spot are kind of the ones that are kind of interchanging right now with Seth Stevenson, Christian Moore, Blake Burke as well. And then Jared Dickey was thrown in there. But yeah, if I'm you're looking to move somebody out of that everyday starter role, Christian Moore is right on the heels of Drell Ortega, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because what do you do when Jared Dickey does come back? Do you move Seth Stevenson out, or do you move Seth Stevenson to DH? You move Christian Moore somewhere? Christian Moore is going to be he should be in the lineup somewhere. Right. And I think Blake Burke is in the same boat. Like he's about to earn his spot as well. His base clearing double in the 6th inning the other night. That dude, those two guys, they just rake. They flat out hit the ball.
Yeah, good problem to have, isn't it?
Yeah.
Talking about all these guys that have earned it, and you got to find spots for them. Definitely a good problem to have. So I mentioned I don't think the Vols sweep. I think Vols win the series. What's your prediction? Like, how are you feeling? And you can come at it biasly, I guess, but. That's my unbiased opinion. If I was being biased, I'd say they sweep.
Yeah, I think this is going to be probably a close series. I say Tennessee gets the win. I'd say 2-1, and I think you absolutely take that. Yeah, I'd love to see a sweep, but I just think with this is a rivalry game. It's going to be close. You're on the road. It's hard to win. I mentioned we haven't won in Nashville since 2009, so that it's definitely hard to win in Nashville. Let alone just being on the road with,
right.
You do have a lot of freshmen, a lot of guys from the mid-state. This kind of means something to them. So, and they have Parker Nolan, he's from Farragut. He's from Knoxville. So they have a guy from Knoxville. So you got kind of the stories there. And, I think it's going to be a close series. So I like Tennessee to take it 2-1. I don't know which one, but I really like if you don't have an all-out starter on Sunday, they've thrown 4 different arms, 4 different weeks on that Sunday spot. Right. So they're not kind of shaky there. So I like Tennessee if they can get one on Friday and Saturday, I like our chances on Sunday with Drew Beam on the mound.
Oh, yeah. If you get a Sunday with 2 wins, yeah, I'm comfortable. Have you seen the lineup for tonight?
Yep. Christian Moore, Seth Stevenson. Drell Ortega is still at second base. I guess those are only 2. So Christian Moore's at DH and Seth Stevenson is in left field.
Yeah. I can't wait. I've been like itching for it all day. So a couple people asked me if I was going to the game, and I was like, you know what? Maybe I should have. Maybe I should have just done it.
Yeah. Just
enough people
missed the rent payment.
Enough people made me feel bad. Yeah, for real. I mean,
we were talking to Fielder last night. He's from Nashville. You can stand somewhere, some kind of railing. You can stand and kind of watch the game from somewhere. I don't know.
He said it was
I'm sure
his buddy's
that's probably
apartment.
packed. Oh, okay. Cool.
He said it was his buddy's apartment. So I don't know if he has a balcony there, if it's like common area. I'm not sure.
That's pretty cool. But kind of going back to the midweek game, before we get too into Vanderbilt, man, I was super impressed with 11-1. I was super impressed with the crowd and everything, how we started the game. It seems like a common thing where Tennessee's just jumping on opponents early. You get a 3 spot in the first inning, Christian Moore, and then Drew Gilbert hits an Oppo Taco home run to make it 3-0. And then it was kind of the freshman who did all the damage. It was Christian Moore and Blake Burke. Both of those guys combined to go 4 of 8 with 6 RBIs. So, again, those 2 are just showing out. I think they lead in slugging percentage and OPS. So, those 2 guys are, 2 of your top hitters. And it's just weird that they're struggling to get their everyday spot. Caleb back. Looks like Caleb cut out a little bit. But also pitching wise, Tennessee, I think he used 7 pitchers in the game. I think he's back in here. There he is. Back, you good? Fall asleep?
All right. Yeah. Yeah, just about. I tried to hear you talking about the midweek game, but I agree probably with everything you said, so we're good.
Yeah, I was just talking about
what can you disagree with in that game?
Right. I mean, you won 11-1. I was talking about the pitchers, how we used so many. Tennessee combined for 15 strikeouts. Blade Tidwell comes back.
Pitch, yeah.
That was awesome. Even though, kind of started a little slow, gave up a triple, a double, and then had an error in there by Trey Lipscomb to, make things a little difficult. You thought maybe you're like, hey, can this spiral out of control? And then Blade Tidwell, it just flipped a switch. I mean, just got 2 guys striking out. You had one with a nasty slider. I mean, the guy had no chance. Then you get a pop out to end the inning, and you saw the major league stuff. Right. You saw why 10 different scouts were back there with their radar guns, writing stuff down. It helped that Ben Joyce came in there too, and they're all piled up behind home plate trying to get the gun going. But yeah, those 2 are the headliners. But man, I was super impressed with Will Mabry. Will the Thrill, baby.
Yeah. He gets it done.
Yeah, 1 1/3. He struck out 4 of his 5 batters faced. And then, I mentioned that Tennessee's just throwing strikes. They threw 133 pitches the other night, 100 were strikes.
The way they attack the strike zone is just, it's got to be intimidating.
Yeah. You're not giving up anything. Everybody that gets on base is earning it.
But especially when they get batters down 0-2 and you're hoping maybe they throw one out away from the plate, but you've done your scouting. You know this next ball is coming in over the plate.
Yeah.
You got to take a hack at it. So it's got to be
it's gonna be close, especially 0-2. Like they're gonna put it where like they're gonna make you think about it, check swing or something. It's gonna be something nasty.
Yeah.
I was super impressed with that, and I think Vanderbilt kind of leaned into them a little bit. I think they've struggled throwing it over the plate. They did against South Carolina, so they're missing their spots and not on target. Tennessee's going to make them pay. This isn't the lineup to really do that against. I mean, South Carolina made them pay, and Tennessee's got a 10 times better lineup than South Carolina does.
Yeah, which I don't want to do the relative, we beat South Carolina beat Vandy, just because I think, like you mentioned, this team is still incredibly talented. Still a ton of talent on the Vanderbilt team. But it's wild, though, to still look at how they match up. It is wild that Tennessee, like you said, should be favored in this game. They are favored in this game. This Vanderbilt's just not as good of a team as Tennessee. Well-rounded as a team as Tennessee is this season.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, again, Tennessee's got a better team.
And I think it's just all around. There's not a single area that Vanderbilt has a hand up over Tennessee on. Yeah,
because their defense has been a little shaky too. Don't have a ton. Like Dominic Keegan's their best hitter. I think he's been playing catcher a lot. He's been a utility guy kind of the majority of his career, but kind of in the same boat Evan Russell is. They didn't really have anybody else, so he moved over to catcher, and he's their best hitter, leads them in average and hits. And then you got Parker Nolan, who was big in that series last year. You got Enrique Bradfield Jr., who's just a menace. He's the fastest guy in college baseball, and I don't think there's any disputing that. He's 16 of 16 stolen base-wise, so definitely key for Tennessee this series is keep him off the base paths.
Which that was like Vanderbilt. We talked about not a ton of base stealing in the SEC as a whole, but Vanderbilt's one of those teams, they're going to try to get some on you.
Yep. For sure. It was good to see Kyle Booker in the game the other night.
Mm-hmm.
Logan Chambers got in. He got a hit. I think that was probably much needed for his confidence. And then your boy, Chuck Taylor.
Charlie. What a throw. Two,
yeah. Showing off that hose.
And one of them on a was it in the dirt?
It. Yeah, he blocked it.
Yeah, was it in the dirt? Okay. Yeah, one of them came up from the dirt.
Yep.
Whew.
I mean, I think, go ahead.
That I guess you see that ball go in the dirt, but I mean after that first one wasn't even close. I don't know if I'll try that again. I don't know if I'll try to find out if that one was luck.
Yeah, when you're down 11-1, you tend to get a little greedy
with it.
Yeah.
Like them banking on them testing Lipsius if he was going to steal.
Yeah, I think is Lipsius leading. I think he might be second on the team in steals, which is stupid. But yeah, I thought he looked good behind the plate. I mean, I definitely think if he could hit the ball a little bit more, I think he would get more of an opportunity there. But not that Evan Russell's played bad, but I just think Charlie Taylor looks like he's played catcher for a long time.
Well, and if he can hit anywhere close to Evan, he's probably your guy this series.
Yeah.
Based on what we just talked about with Vanderbilt wanting to run the bases. So I mean, if you get more from him there, you do have a lot more options where he looked good. He looked really good behind the plate.
Yep, I agree. But yeah, Tennessee's pitchers definitely got to help Evan out.
Yeah.
In this series, Dolander Burns kind of slow to the plate, so they're definitely going to have to help out once. I mean, if he's 16 for 16, he's taking second base. I mean, you just got to keep him away from third. How about that?
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's going to have to get on base, and if on Saturday when Chase Dolander's pitching, that is a tough task to even get the ball to the bat. Yep. Or the bat to the ball, excuse me.
Yep. Agreed.
Love it. Well, let's we need to wrap up. It's 6:56 right now, so we're about to roll into this Tennessee Vanderbilt game in Nashville. Tennessee fans will probably be rowdy in their homes or at the bars tonight. So get rowdy, get extra rowdy. Shout out to University of Traditions for the hat. Appreciate you guys. Go check them out.
Baby boys.
What a terrible name.
It's
It's like,
so
yeah,
stupid.
let's ride with that. It's awful.
It's you talk about that little boy of the week, like that's what that reminds me of, like the the kind of the echo behind the bully. It's like, yeah, man, give me your lunch money. Yeah, man, I'm a Vandy boy.
That's the Vandy boy. Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
Vandy boy. I think that makes sense.
It's worse than Omaha's and not going to Omaha.
Way worse.
Yeah,
Way worse. Actually,
Baby boys.
maybe the boys is at Vanderbilt. Yeah.
It seems like they're
I
a
don't
little. They're
Little,
like
yeah, I
unsure
agree.
about their masculinity, is what that kind of says to me. Guys, that's all we got. Go Vols. Let's get the sweep. Let's get the brooms out. Big orange
Sweet.
brooms.
Yeah. I don't have a bourbon here. I'll get one.
All right, guys. Good luck. We're bringing the boat in, and we out.